Okay, so this video covers installing the track covers for the Nashorn tank destroyer. And before we get started, I wanted to just mention that there's an error in the template. So when you're installing the track covers, if I've completed the videos, the template will be fine, and the right and the left will be correct. But on the original template, the right is actually the left. So what you want to pay attention to is the ammo box goes on the inside of the template. Okay? Like toward the inside of the vehicle, not on the outside. So if you install, so just install this on there. Or if you see this little hole, which is the headlight hole, that always goes on the left. And when you install this, you want to install it level with the back. Like level with the top of this. And right up to the edge here and turning. Now this flap is longer than this. That's okay. Just go with it. So now we can get started. First thing you probably want to do is if this overshoots the back, just take scissors or a scraper blade and trim it a little bit. Shouldn't have to trim it by much. Should be pretty close. Just you won't be able to get a blade in there later, so that's the only time you can do that. Now, getting these on flat isn't the easiest thing in the world. You really want to make sure that you've gotten out all of the bow from the track cover. And even still, like, you're never going to get it perfectly straight when you're doing this. But it is pretty straight. Now, to increase its flatness when I install it, I'm going to hold it up against a piece of matchstick. I've just cut a piece of wooden matchstick to about the same length. And I'm going to use that as a guide to make sure I install flat. So the next thing to do is to take some straight glue. Now there's an option as to put it on the edge, the leading edge here, or to put it along here. Now, if you put it on the leading edge and you place it in a slightly wrong position, you're going to have to tear it off and re-glue it. So generally, I'll put my glue right on the hull side. And I use straight glue for this, just to make the bond strong and quick, because you don't want to be waiting forever for this to dry. And use a fair amount of glue. Okay. So once you've got that prepared, grab your piece. Now if it bows up, put the matchstick on top. If it bows down, put the matchstick on the bottom, like if the ends bow down. This one isn't, it's bowing up a little bit, so I'm going to keep the matchstick on top. And you want to make sure this front piece, before you install it, is a little bit over-folded, because folding it in is harder than folding it out. So when you place this, you really want to make sure that front angle goes flush with the front angle on there, and then worry about the back afterwards. Now because I've trimmed the back a little bit, it's going to end almost flush with it. But generally, there's a little bit of extra material on the back. That's fine. That will be covered when we put the superstructure on. So just try to get everything lined up. And then look from the back and make sure you're pretty level. Now when you put the superstructure on, if it's a little bit off, that will fix it. So mostly what you're looking for is a nice, flat, even track cover, and that it's pretty close to that way, like level. So do both sides, and then the next step will be to add the superstructure. So this isn't easy, and if you're having a lot of trouble, like sometimes when you're installing a side, you'll be like, well, it's not fitting evenly, like it's rocking back and forth when I try to install it. You can use patches, the tracing paper patches, like we used before to attach everything together to fix that. Also, I would recommend like pulling these out a little bit so it actually touches this, because if they're pushed in a little bit and there's no contact, it's really hard to get this to sit in the right place. Other than that, you should be good, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's a quick one. And sign up for the website, spread the word, support us if you can. Thanks for watching. See you soon.